Hi everyone, welcome to the Small Business Cheerleader podcast. I'm joined here today by Jasmine Kemp of, wonderful business and marketing coach and also owner of Kemp Digital. How are you?
Hello, beautiful. I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Very busy and very stressed today, as you know, but that's life of a marketing a consultant. I just wanted to talk to you. I've been wanting to have you on the podcast for ages because I know that you are a marketing and Facebook queen, and everyone is struggling these days with marketing. And you and I know that we talk to our clients all the time about the best way to be seen online and how to not waste your money online with advertising. So let's introduce you. Tell people all about you, and before we get started talking about marketing and how we can, I just want to know everything. Tell me.
Oh, beautiful. Well, I'm Jasmine, as you know, and I thank you so much for having me on. This is so beautiful, and I feel so honored to be here. I am a business and marketing coach. I do a lot of mindset work as well, and I also own Kemp Digital. Essentially, Kemp Digital is a Facebook ads agency, a boutique agency where we scale service-based businesses and coaches to 6 and 7 figures by using Facebook and Instagram ads, which is so exciting, and it's just good to get that rapid growth for a lot of people. We also focus on strategy because, as you know, strategy is very important, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in this podcast. But that's essentially the essence of what we do, and we really thrive on helping those business owners create a bigger impact for themselves.
Yeah, it's just amazing the difference it can make from actually having someone in your corner that can really guide you through the Facebook ads world, because small business owners, as we both know, it's not their zone of genius because they're too busy running their own businesses, and they just need someone in their corner to tell them they're doing it right or to guide them. And like we were talking about before, it's just strategy is so important. And what do you think, what difference do you see businesses that actually have a strategy, a marketing strategy, and part of that marketing obviously being tactics and Facebook ads, but what difference do you see when people actually have a marketing strategy?
I love this question, and I think there's this big misconception that a marketing strategy is post an Instagram post at this time and you will get all the leads and sales, right? It's so much more detailed and thought through than this is what I'm going to post at this time. And I really believe that business owners, when they're coming into business, one of the things they should invest in or upskill in is learning really how to create a marketing strategy for their business. Because, as you know, marketing is the blood of a business. It's what gets your product or service shown to the outer world. Without marketing, you are just in a little box and no one knows about you. So I think when people have a strategy versus not having a strategy, the strategy allows them to achieve their 5-year goals within 2 to 3 years. Whereas if you don't have a strategy, you are fumbling around for the first 2-3 years, and only on those last 2 years in that 5-year period is when you start to see that growth, because you finally understand, oh, this is how the pieces of the puzzle work together. But when you invest straight away, you supercharge your growth and really limit that, I guess, long-term learning period of troubleshooting everything. And as you know, with a strategy, it is so important because, as I touched on earlier, it's not just post this at this time. It is, how is your email marketing and your messaging going to integrate with your social media, going to integrate with your ads? How are you going to get all of your touch points? Are we talking to the right people at their right customer lifecycle stage? It is so involved and detailed. And I feel like once that's mapped out for someone, their business can really be successful.
Oh, 100%. And Eugene Swartz with the 5 levels of customer awareness has been something that I find is life-changing for a lot of small business owners, because if they can understand what messaging they need to have at what stage in their business, life cycle, and it just creates so much clarity. And that's where a strategy, like you're saying, if you can work with someone who can help you in those stages of your business, you're right, it will happen quicker for you because you're you're utilizing their skills and their zone of genius to help build your business. And I think if you're trying to do it all on your own, you're really going to be in it for the long haul, because you are going to have to learn, you're going to have to change, you're going to have to, you know, move things along, when really if somebody's there to tell you, no, look, this is what you need to do, this is when you need to do it, let's set a goal, let's set a milestone for you to reach, you're more likely to do it instead of having no real goals or milestones and just, you know, day to day. You go round and round in circles because you don't
I love
have a
that.
strategy. You don't have something you're measuring, which is what we were talking about before as well. I mean, it's you know, measuring, targeting is something that you're very, very keen on, the same as me. What do you find is the key to measuring or specifically targeting when it comes to Facebook ads? Because that's where you see the difference, isn't it?
I love this question. And before we jump into that, like the biggest mistake I see business owners doing is that they go into Facebook and Instagram ads without having a strategy, right? Like if you don't have an end goal and a strategy about how you're doing your Facebook ads, you can put $1,000 in, but it doesn't mean you're going to get a result because you haven't actually thought through the before steps, the middle steps, and the after steps, right? Because it's a whole process. And then when we go into, I suppose, targeting and everything like that, we really need to understand and separate our audiences. Like you said, the different levels of awareness where people sit. We need to speak to people based on where they are in their journey, you know. And I always like to use this example. If we're in a coffee shop and I'm walking in to get a coffee and I see a group of people sitting on the left-hand side, I would never go up to them and be like, hi, my name's Jasmine. I currently have a 12-week program running. Do you want $200 off? Okay, let's buy today. They'd be like, who is this girl and why is she selling to me? Like, I don't know her, you know.
Nothing about her. What?
Yes. And even though it's the internet and it's social media, you still need to treat it like it's real life. And this is where the targeting comes in, making sure that the cold people and people who don't know you and are learning more about you are in that stage of learning more about you, and you're not pushing like sales down their throat. And that's where a lot of businesses come to me and say, Facebook ads just don't work for me. And I'm like, well, Facebook ads will work for you. It's that you don't have a strategy, or your strategy isn't working because it hasn't been thought through all the way. And then I guess like another thing is people just don't test their ads, which really, really like blows my mind, because as you know, the numbers don't lie, right? The numbers will tell you exactly what's happening. And that's why I love marketing, because it's the creative aspect and it's like obviously the number aspect as well, integrated with each other. And if you, for example, had one ad out and you're like, oh, this isn't working. Well, how do you know if it's working? Because you have nothing to test it against, right? So that's when you need a second creative, a second text or copy. That's when you need different targeting. When you start testing, you can actually start to get a feel using those numbers and that real life data about what is working. And a really good example is one of my clients' accounts I was working on last week. We got leads in for $10 and then leads in for $60, right? And the difference between those two was just the image. Just the image. And this is exactly why you need to test.
And people forget too that we can't assume what our target market are going to like. I mean, we can guide, but you're not going to know unless you give them the opportunity to make their own choices. So we might think, oh, well, they want that image for sure, and that's going to do it all. But do we really? Unless you actually test it against other options, you don't know. And you might be surprised. You probably found that too, like you're saying with the two different lead costs, because I've been surprised. I've gone, well, I've done work with tradies because we specialise in working with tradies, and a lot of the time I've gone, oh, well, they'll definitely want that image. You know, they'll want an image with a guy doing this, that, or the other. Well, no, they want a completely different image. And I was like, well, I never guessed that, but that's why we test with tradies or that type of market. Normally 5 different images, 5 different headings. It can really
I love that. I love that. And I think that's another big thing for business owners, is that just because you like something and you love it does not mean your audience is going to resonate with it in the same way. And that's where, you know, as a business owner, we're so close to our business and it's an extension of who we are. But sometimes in those moments, we do need to step back and trust whoever we're working with to say, okay, look, I actually really dislike that image, but I'm going to roll with it and see what the numbers tell us, because I'd like our audience to be able to, like, you know, tell me if that's what they like or not. So I think that's another big thing in this, I guess, picture is that, again, the numbers don't lie. They're going to tell you exactly what's going on. So just test everything. As long as it's within your branding, just test everything.
Yeah, and I mean that is exactly what I think small businesses are missing out on, the opportunity to test and ask their market what they want. And then they're coming to us, as you said, and saying Facebook ads don't work for me. I'm not converting, my lead costs are too high, it's just not a medium that works for me. And I'm the same as you. You said, well, have you tested different, are you even targeting? Are you using interests or job titles, or at the basic level, are you doing that? Well, no, I'm just doing everyone 18 to 60, male and female, because I'm better that way because I've got more people. No, because you're then spending, can you imagine, like 3 million people, say, and you're trying to get an arrow to reach a conversion. No, go in, convert with the people you really want to talk to their pain point, give them a messaging that hits, like I say in mine, you've got to go where they are. Not physically, but where are they? What is it that keeps them up at night? What is it that, if they had a magic wand, they would fix? What is that? And talk to that. And then whoever and wherever those people are, target them there. If like with tradie things, a lot of it is, do they watch the block? Do they read this? Do they do that? Because you're getting people that are already warmed up into thinking along those lines. So then you're targeting to them. So I've got to tell people to really investigate and research your targeting before you do your ads, so that you're really using your money wisely, not just wasting it thinking the better approach. Remember, your customer is not everyone. And the sooner people realize that, the more they're going to get conversions from their ad spend.
I love that. And, one of my favorite sayings is, if you talk to everyone, you talk to no one, because, we're unique as human beings, and we all have different problems, and we're all in different life cycles and customer cycles, and we're all unique. And I think, as you're so right, like, you need to niche down and talk to those people. And I think a lot of business owners are very scared to niche down, right? Because they're like, oh, I'm going to lose, 50% of the pool. Oh no, and it's actually not like that. It's actually opening you up for more opportunities inside that segment, so that you can really resonate and talk to people, and they can really actually build a relationship with you. And once you start building that relationship, more people will trust you, more people will come to you. Whereas if you talk to everyone and you're just doing a blanket marketing message, it doesn't really hone in with anyone. And it's kind of like hoping for the best, really. And that's not really how you want your business direction to go.
No, that's exactly right. My favorite book a while ago was The One-Page Marketing Plan by Alan Dibb, and it was based for small business. So what it talked about was, when you're niching, you look at it like a beautician. A beautician offers a whole range of services. And if they did advertising for all of those services, their messaging would be very broad, and they wouldn't be really talking to someone. So if you're then saying you pick one service like cellulite treatment for, say, okay, well, that's niching down again, and you're talking a little bit more, but it's still broad. So if you niche down your advertising message for your ad campaign to cellulite treatment for pregnant women, we'll see how your messaging is very direct and very niche, and you're more likely to have conversions, because you're talking to a pain point of a person that at that point is going through that issue. So see how the original one would be so broad. This one is more so very targeted, very niche, and you could do your targeting to that. You could target your person, your age, and you get much better results out of your ad campaign. That's what I try and tell people, to think of it in that way. How can you niche upon a niche upon a niche when you're doing your advertising to really, really convert?
Definitely. I love that. I love that so much. And that's what I tell all my clients as well. It's very, very important to niche down, talk to those pain points, and make a few different pieces of like copy, like text, for their pain points, because, they have multiple pain points. They might have two really big pain points. Make like text and copy that resonates to those, and test the two against each other again. And then you'll figure out exactly what works best for your audience.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
to take the time in doing the headings as well
Yes.
for your Facebook ads, because remember, that's what's going to get them in. It needs to be about them, not about you. So it needs to stop talking about how great you are and about
Yeah.
how what you have provides a solution to their problem, and you're more likely to attract their attention. You know, whether it's 5 key points to something, it can be as simple as that. Or, you know, are you experiencing this question mark? So when they're going, they're like, oh, I am. And then as they read, your copy talks about how you provide a solution to that problem without being salesy. And then a call to action. Direct response marketing tends to be the best for small businesses, I find, in providing a solution to the problem and some sort of call to action, which makes them make a decision there and then to click, to go, to view, whatever it is. And then they start the journey with you on trusting you, learning more about you. And that's where you can make content work for you.
Definitely. And then, you know, like you said, at those stages when they start researching about you, and you can start doing your retargeting, right? And so, you know, and that's my favorite thing about this whole marketing, the whole marketing journey is like when an audience is cold and they're learning more about you, you can't always expect a lot of conversions, right? Usually, at our agency, we're very happy if that campaign either breaks even or gets a 2 times return on investment, that very cold campaign. It's where the retargeting is where the money works and where the money happens. But you have to go through that cold, icky, uncomfortable stage first before you can retarget. And it's where retargeting, we see 5 times return on investment, 10 times, sometimes 20 times return on investment, which is absolutely amazing. But that's where you have to get to first. So when you go into your retargeting, it's always making sure that you're retargeting based on how warm you think they are. Have they visited your Instagram? How many times have they visited your Instagram? Have they been on your website, your Facebook page? What are they doing? What are their actions? What are they taking? Are they looking at certain products on your website if you're like an e-com business or a service-based business? And really, really dividing that out to say, okay, if they've looked at me in the past 7 days, like they might be really, really warm. If they've looked at me in the past 180 days, they might be like still in that cold to warm phase. So before you jump into Facebook ads, I always suggest my clients and we get rid of the computer and we actually do things on paper and we map out, okay, when they're in this stage of their journey, this is how warm they are. And we really start planning out day by day, you know, 7 to 14 days, 14 to 30 days, 30 to 60 days, and make sure we're tailoring that messaging to all of those different cycle journeys.
That's 100%. And then, I mean, what follows on from that, as you're saying, is you're keeping those leads warm with email automation. You're keeping them warm with your journey on social media. And people forget that it's not a set and forget where you just leave the ads go. It's about following through that content. Some people, their journeys, especially for coaches and things like that, can be sometimes up to 18 months. I mean, I know I've been in somebody's funnel for 18 months and then they happen to hit me at a time where I'm really in a need of what it is they offer. And then I get an email that says, you know, mastermind's happening or something's happening. And I'm like, I'm at that stage now. And I've been with you for the past 18 months. I know you're the right person. And then you get a conversion. So you've got to remember that it's a long-term gain usually. Sometimes it's not a conversion from cold straight away. It can take 18 months of nurturing them through your content and your emails to make sure they trust you enough that when they're ready, that you're the person that they go to. But see, those emails can come out of regular communication you have, but if it hits you at that one time, that email can convert. And that's where your Facebook ad starts that journey, doesn't it? It introduces you to them, and retargeting, it continues to keep them up to date with what you're doing. And then you can hit them a year later from something as simple as a Facebook ad that got them in the first time.
Yes. It's just part of the ecosystem, the marketing ecosystem, Facebook ads. Like, you know, Facebook ads will only ever amplify what you already have happening. It's never the only solution. And if it is your currently only channel, I would suggest looking at adding a lot more other channels into the mix.
That's 100%. And people forget that Facebook ads also translate into Instagram ads, because obviously you can choose both channels through your Facebook business manager. And so, or you can advertise direct on Facebook, but that's a bit like boosting a post, isn't it? Sort of thing. I think if you press the promote button on Instagram, it needs to have more of a strategy. And that's where the Facebook ads, you can choose various places in Facebook. You can do manual placements. You can do an automatic placement where Facebook puts it everywhere and just hopes. We tend to structure more to manual placements for my clients, but it can work either way for depending on what your strategy is. And Instagram, the same. I see a lot of people do Instagram stories, but they just don't tailor the templates either. And then they can have a really bland looking Instagram story. Whereas there's parts in there where you can tailor your template, it looks a lot more professional. So there's so much you can do that people are not thinking about. And that's where an agency can come in and provide you with that value, because you forget it takes hours and hours to do this. And a lot of people don't have the time or the knowledge. Yeah. And that's where, like you're saying, you're doing at the moment, the Glow Getters 12-week program, showing small business owners, and I can see the names behind you of those that have signed up so far. It's somewhere where you've got somebody in your corner showing you how to do them, giving you the support of running them, showing you what's worked, what hasn't. You've got your experience of 8 years of running ads in their corner. So tell everyone a bit more about Glow Getters and how they can get involved, because it's something that I feel very strongly about, that small business owners should be more, have more knowledge in it and be part of to up level their businesses.
Definitely. So the Glow Getters idea was born after having so many conversations with business owners, and it absolutely broke my heart. But, they've wasted $1,000, $500 in ads. They've just wasted their money, and they're like, I haven't gotten any results. I don't know what's working. I put my targeting in, but I can't get it to work. And as a small business owner, and especially when you're in that startup phase and you're just making enough revenue to just pay yourself, and you're in that funny phase of business, you can't waste that money. And I think what Facebook and Instagram are a business, right? So sometimes we forget that. Sometimes we think that they're a service just because they're with us every day, but they are a multi-billion-dollar business. So for them to put a promote button and a boost button there to tempt you to have an easy way of growing your business, it's a marketing tactic for them, right? And a lot of us forget that, because when you're going to boost a post, you might reach 1,000 people, woohoo! But out of those people that you're going to reach, are any going to convert? What's the point of reaching if we're not going to convert these people, right? And so Glow Getters was born from the idea where let's stop boosting and actually let's learn a strategy, so that when you are going to input $100, $500, $1,000 into your Facebook ads, you're gonna get results, right? So, and as we talked about before, and I'm sure a lot of people have either been into Ads Manager and they're feeling overwhelmed, or there's just so many moving parts. You talked about automatic placements, manual placements, headlines, copy, creative, bidding strategies, audiences. There are so many moving parts in the Facebook and Instagram ad engine that you can't just learn that overnight. And it does need to be an extended process to really, really fully understand the platform and your audience and what's going to work for your audience. And not just that, it's understanding what the metrics are telling you. A lot of people are like, I don't know what my results mean. I see lots of numbers, but I've reached this many people and I've gotten this many clicks, but I don't know what's happening. Or I got a lead for $100. Why is it so high? And it's understanding the hard and soft metrics to really say, okay, my click-through rate is low. I now know I need to change my image, for example, or update my text. So that's where Glow Getters is born, a 12-week program for amazing, amazing business owners that just want to start scaling their business and just want to stop pressing the boost button, because, my heart broke for so many women. And I really, really made it a program simply for people that don't have enough time and they don't have a lot of resources to go out and get an agency or a freelancer, but they still want to make their business work. So they're in that stage of their business.
Yeah, and you provide them the support, because you can go and do online, courses through Facebook and things like that. But what I find from clients is that they've tried that and they don't have the time. They just give up because they don't have someone in their corner to see, if what they're doing is right, or they give up because they don't have that accountability. And what I found also, as you're talking about with results, I had a client that I think the leads were around $36 per lead, which was really good. We were running their ads for them. And he said to me, I don't know, is that good? I don't know. I said, well, okay, how much profit do you make from each sale? And he said, oh, about $5,000. I said, okay. And how many of these have you converted, these leads? Oh, about 5. Okay, so you've made $25,000 profit and the ad cost you $300.
Yeah.
I said, that's pretty good. So they didn't know how to work it out. So this, per lead cost, I don't know, $36, is that a lot? Well, not really if you're making 5, so that's where it all comes down to it. So I think that's the best part of your program, is making them understand that.
Yeah, it's really the support aspect, I think. A lot of people, as being in business, it's a journey. It's really sometimes a difficult roller coaster that we go through. And I feel like just having that person in your corner, whether it's Facebook ads, whether it's business coaching, whether it's finance, whatever it might be, having that person in your corner really, really, really helps you drive in the right direction, because otherwise we get too much caught up in our head. We overthink things, we don't do, or we do too fast and make mistakes along the way. So it's really having that person to help you in your corner. And just work with you, and so you can feel supported and loved and empowered. I think that's the biggest thing.
Oh, 100%. I think it's amazing. Now, I'm with you 100%. I've seen too many small business owners just panic and lose lots of money. And that's why I love what you do, because I think it really targets down, speaking of targeting, targets down into what people need. And I think that that's really important. Now, tell people, where did they go? How do they find out more about you?
Beautiful. So my favorite platform is Instagram. You can find me at Jasmine Kemp __, and I'm there. My profile is like pink and photos of me, so you won't miss it. And if you did want more information about Glow Getters, you can just head to the link in my bio and book a free strategy call where we can see why Facebook ads are not working for you and how to make them work for you. And then we can see if the program is for you.
Awesome. And you've also got free Facebook group, BizBytes.
Yes.
If you want little snippets of how Facebook and just business life advice can help, I'm in that group. The BizBytes group is great. So, and you do lots of Instagram lives with BizBytes as well. So there's heaps of free information there that you can find out more about you there. Awesome. It's been lovely to chat. All things Facebook, which we both love, and marketing. So thank you very much, and best of luck with the rest of the program. And I'm sure you'll have success for all your clients. And go check Jasmine out online. And thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure speaking to you.
No worries. See ya.